Hey everybody, welcome back to Holt Growers. I'm your host Timothy Holt, and this is inside my greenhouse. So 2 weeks ago was my last video. I did some planting in here. I went ahead and planted the giant green bell peppers, the salad mix. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I know one of my kids definitely is, because he really likes salads. So, and then the little marvel sweet pea. So today I'm going to try getting in the carrots, the radishes, the cherry tomatoes, and the chili peppers. For those of you who are wondering, chili peppers and tomatoes, as well as bell peppers as far as that goes, it's common to see them started in seed trays and then transplanted into a garden bed. The main reason for that is they're picky when it comes to germination. I'm aware of that. I'm doing a direct seed into these beds. And the main reason I am is because if I was going to start them in seed trays inside, I probably should have did it back in February, like early February. So, because it is really warm in the greenhouse. So, February was pretty cold here in western Pennsylvania. The first week in March was also, however, it's not looking like it's going to be getting down that cold anytime in the near future. So the other thing is, right now looking at my thermometer here, we're hovering right at 90 degrees and it's still morning yet. So yesterday it was over 100 degrees in this greenhouse. I had to end up venting it in the afternoon. So I'm not really worried about that. Soil temps are doing great. They're averaging above 70 throughout the greenhouse. I had plastic down, another plastic coating, cover down over the beds just to help warm them up faster, and that did work. However, this past week I definitely pulled that all out of here, got it out. So looking forward to planting these crops. A couple of them, it's my first time. So we'll see how they go. Broccoli and chili peppers, I've never grown before that I can remember. Might have when I was a kid, but not real, can't really remember. So do have some demand for them. I had a couple people asking about them, so we'll see how they go. And we'll get these put in. There's a couple in here that I haven't planted yet, mainly because I haven't got the pots I want to plant them in. And that would be my cilantro and parsley. So they could have went in to pots about 2 weeks ago. I'm a little late on those because I haven't got the stuff to do it yet. They're going to be in here in the walkways and pots. I'm going to try to see how that works. Hopefully maximize some space. So without further ado, thank you for watching. Also hit that subscribe button if you like this content and give a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. So I'm going to cut to a time lapse and move the camera around and show you how we plant these. Hey everybody, I'm glad you stayed tuned and watched that. A couple of things to note. The first one is the broccoli. It's the first year I've done broccoli. I had a couple people ask about it and request it, so I'm trying my hand with broccoli. I'm told by a few people it can be pretty finicky, so we'll see. It went right down here. You might have noticed that on the second pass I stopped a little less than halfway, and that's because I ran out of seeds. I only bought one packet because I'm not sure how well they're going to do. If they do well, great. I'll continue to grow them. If they don't, then they don't. It's kind of how it works. But I didn't want to invest a lot in seed if they weren't going to do well in here. So I only bought one, see where it went, and that's how far it went. Also, you might have noticed that with the carrots, I spaced them a little closer together than the packet recommends for rows. Excuse me. The packet recommends 18 to 24 inches between rows. I have discovered that's to facilitate harvest more than anything with the variety of carrot that I use. They normally get about 5 to 6 inches long, and they only get about 1 inch to 1.25 inches in diameter. So not a lot there, which means I can put them pretty close together, relatively speaking. I put 3 rows in my 30-inch bed, which will put them about 6 to 7 inches apart. And that is plenty for me. I found that they still come up out of the ground easily. They'll grow well that way. Also, since the ground is pretty fertile with the compost that was laid in here, as well as the chicken manure and things of that nature I've put in, those inputs, I expect it will work out well. The radishes, same thing with them. 3 rows abreast. It's a little closer than the package, but again, that goes back to facilitating harvest. I have these nice 10-inch walkways. Once I put in the walkways, I try not to walk on the actual growing beds, if at all possible. And that's because I don't want to compact that soil down. Took quite a while to break it up and loosen it up. I don't want to compact it down with my body weight. So if you notice me stepping across, that's why I do that. And 30-inch beds makes it pretty easy to do that. So back to the radishes. Radishes, I have 2 different kinds of radishes growing. Ones are called the scarlet. Those are the ones I planted first. They're a smaller variety. They only get to about 1/2 inch in diameter. They're great for salads and garnishes. I've found they do have a pretty good kick to them for their size, but hey, they're a radish. You either like them or you don't. So, and quite frankly, I like radishes, and I know quite a few people who do. The other variety that I planted takes a little bit longer, about a week longer to grow, and that is a champion, and it is your big slicing radish. They get to be upwards of 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches in diameter. They can get larger than that, but they tend to get a pretty woody texture to them the larger they get. So I like to harvest them around 1.5 inches in diameter. They're nice, big, crunchy, delicious that way. And then we also planted in here our cherry tomatoes and our chili peppers, which were over here. So cherry tomatoes were pretty simple. It's one pass down. And then as they sprout and I can see where my good strong plants are, I will drop in guidelines for them to grow on like I did last year. That seemed to work very well last year, so I intend on doing that again this year. The chili peppers are a medium to hot pepper. It's my first year with that. Unlike the other peppers I typically grow or the tomatoes, they're in a determinate variety, which means they produce all their crop all at once. So they bear fruit all at once, rather than throughout the season. So we'll see how that goes. They have a 75 to 80 days to maturity range, and to harvest them is pretty easy from what I am finding out. You grab them by the stalk, rip the whole thing up, and hang them upside down to dry. That's it. Pretty simple. So we'll see how that works. Definitely looking forward to that. So if you like your hot peppers here in about 2.5 months, give me a buzz, stop by, and check them out. I hope to do well. You'll definitely be seeing me giving you updates on those throughout the season. So that is first planting of crop in our greenhouse. I'm optimistic, definitely optimistic. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. It is still warm in here. The wind did pick up. The sun kind of hid behind some clouds for the last couple of hours. And it's cooled off a little bit in here. It's no longer over 90, so, which is good. That's definitely a good thing in this case. So, as always, get out, grow some today, and may God richly bless you. Hit that like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to get notifications. Hit that bell. So, get out, grow something today.